So welcome back to another tutorial. I hope everybody is doing well. The other day in the live stream I did, if you haven't watched that yet, there'll be an annotation now to go to that. I kind of did a bit of a preview of the color delay macros that I use, and also position macros that I used. So in the live stream, I did a very basic overview of how it works. But I'm going to be going a bit more. I'm going to make this tutorial. This tutorial will be showing you a bit more in depth on how to do it. Now, I'm not going to take credit for these because there's a guy named. I think his name was. Let me check. Yes, I don't. I'm sorry. I apologize to him if I butcher his name. It is Jason Zaring. Jason Zaring. Yeah, that's it. I think. Sorry, I'm still a bit sick. But anyways, he's the one. He created it. He's the one that basically put the tutorial out there on how to do this just for the color, and then obviously the same things fine for the presets. I mean, not for the presets, for position presets. It'll basically be the same for most presets. So he's the one that did it. So I will make sure to link his video in the description. The other cool thing is that there is a Jason Gaffer, the Gaffer. I apologize to him if I butchered his name. He created a Lua plugin that actually does this for you, so you can get that. I never really was successful with it, I'm not gonna lie. So I don't use it, but I've already moved away from too many plugins because I like to make my own things. But he's got videos on how to do it, and I'll make sure to link that in the description as well. So if you don't want to make it yourself, you can. But I guess let's just hop straight into it. There we go. Okay, so at the moment I've set up this view. I will put the show file in the description. But basically all we've really got is if I just quickly get on to that one. We've got this Q stack just with colors in it, with a whole lot of different colors, and then this Q stack with a couple of Qs, so just up, down, and a kind of fan out sort of thing. All right. So yep. So that's all we're really going to need. Okay. So that's what we've got. Basically, the way this this um this thing works is that you put preset times, you put delay times into a preset. You then apply a filter and the preset times, and you store an executor again. When it merges the executor, it still has all the data that was there before, but it now also has the delay time added to it. So for this, we're going to need first the preset pools for the things you're going to be using. So I've got colors in the preset pool over here, but that can just be a blank preset pool because you don't actually have to have the things stored as presets. You can just have them stored as normal macros. Normal, I mean, no, not macros, just normal queues. So you don't ever have to store them to normal sequences. Then I've got the position pool. Then I've got a filter pool, and this is going to come in very important, and we will talk about that later. Then I've got a macro pool down here and groups over here. So the first thing we're going to do is create a filter. So you're going to just unselect all of the, oh no, not unselect all of these. You're going to have to go and unselect all of these, so that it isn't using that. You're then going to unselect effects and values, and only leave value time selected. So then you're going, and once you've done that, you've basically done it. Then what we're going to do is we're going to just select color and position. We're just going to make one filter for both things since it's just value times. As long as you don't store color value times in your position preset is fine. If you want to make two filters, that's cool, but I'm going to keep it at one, so I'm just going to label that filter. Now comes the tricky part. For this to work, you have to do we're going to be making a symmetrical one. So for that, your fixture selection has to go from left to right, and it mustn't be a symmetrical selection. As weird as that sounds. So I'm going to quickly just if I come to here, I'm just going to select. Let me just pull this down. I'm just going to select this and highlight it, and if you can see, mine goes from left to right, which will allow me to make this symmetrical. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to use this as our, let me quickly switch back. We're just going to use this group as our, as our pointy delay, and that's group 5. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go select that group, and we're going to go to color, delay, and I'm just going to make 3. So the first one's going to be 0, so that I can have 0. Store, and I'm going to name that, no, not appearance, delay 0. then we're going to go and I'm going to make I want a half a second fade coming from the out of the rig in. So I'm going to say 0 through 0.5 through 0. What that means is all the lights at the end will take 0 seconds to go to this color, and the ones in the middle will take 0.5 seconds to get to the color. I then want, and then I'm going to store that, I'm going to say delay 0.5 out in. And then finally, I want one where it's going to move from the in of the rig out in the same time. So I'm going to say 0.5 through 0 through 0.5. Install that there. And I'm going to say delay 0.5 in out. And then obviously if you want to right to left, you would just say, well, let's just make it rather. Delay, you would just say 0 through 0.5. That means the lights all the way on the left are only going to be there for 0 seconds. I'm going to take 0 seconds to do it, and the lights on the right are going to take 0.5. And then for the opposite way around, it's just that. So it will just be 0.5 through 0. So delay 0.5 right, left. Okay. Cool. So we've done that now. Now let's go ahead and start making the macros. So the macros are actually a very simple thing to do. We're just going to say blind. I'm just going to say blind, which works for me. I guess you could say blind edit on if you really want to. Blind edit on. We're then going to say to find our group 5. Group 5. We're then going to say, or hold on, let me actually do this the way I do it. So I do it a bit differently to it the way they do it. It's a bit more complicated, but this is a bit more of a complicated kind of idea, if that makes sense. So the way I'm going to be doing it is I'm going to be first declaring an active macro. I mean, not an active macro, an active preset, and then then that will be storing then basically another macro will be doing the actual storing. So I'm just going to move this one over here. So instead of me clicking this one, instead of me just saying, okay, instead of me making 5 different macros for all these 5 different times, I'm going to make 5 macros to be able to select the times, but then I'm only going to make one macro to do the storing. And the reason I do it like this is in my show file, I have macros, or let me show you how to do it, and then I'll go into my show file and give you an idea of how I do it. So the basics of it is you say blind edit on. You then say group 5. We're then going to say filter 2. So we're going to add filter 2 to it. It's then going to be oh wait, no, so we're going to say filter 2, so it's just blind edit on, then filter 2, then it's group 5 at preset. Then we check here if our color preset is 4. You can see the 4 over there. .77. So we're going to say at preset 4.77. Then we come here and we check our exec. So it's exec 1.101. So we'll then say store exec 1.101 /m clear all blind edit off. So now what we're going to do is going to copy and paste these and quickly change the preset data over here, so it just represents the right one, 4.78. And yep, so now when we click on that, ooh, why didn't that work? That should have worked. Filter 2, group 5 at preset 4.7 store. Why is this? That should have worked. I don't know why that didn't work. Yeah, everything's right. Yeah, I did. That doesn't work. Wait, did I do the right thing? Our color is 4. That is for group 5. Why doesn't this one work? Store exec 1.101 /m. Okay, let's just do it like this. So grab the because that is selective. Where am I going wrong here? Let me just add in here clear selection. This is macro 112. See, nobody's perfect. 4.78. Oh, yeah. Now I remember where I'm going wrong. Okay, this is where I'm going wrong. This is where I'm going wrong. Okay, I remember it now. I'm not a complete and utter idiot. You have to say store executor, your exec1 through /m, if I remember correctly. If this still doesn't work. Yep, there we go. So you can see now it is working in the one we defined. So let me just control D that, control D that, control C there. Make this 4.77. Control C there, 4.7. 9 and 80 and 81. 4.80, 4.81. Okay, so if we make it 0, then as we do this, it's 0. If we do it like that, it is 0.5 out in, 0.5 in out, 0.5 left to right, 0.5 right to left. And it is literally, maybe I should give you guys a view of it. It is literally, so if I click on macro 111, as you will see, it goes, it's 0. Macro 112, which I'll label in a bit, it is 0.5 out in. 113, which is 0.5 in out. 114, which is 0.5 left to right. And 115, which is 0.5 right left. Now, here's the cool thing that I do with mine. One of my last lines before I leave it is an appearance one. So it'll actually show me which one is active. So all you have to do is you have to take note of the macro numbers. So in this case, we have got macros 111 through 115. So what we're going to write is we're going to say appearance macro 111 through 115 slash and then RGB data. So for the first line, we're going to say appearance macro 111 through 115 R equals 100, G equals 0, and then B equals insert equals 0. Then the next line that we're going to add is we're going to say appearance macro 111, because that's the macro we're working with now. R equals 0, G equals 100, and B equals 0. What that means is when I do this, if you move away, you can see that becomes green. So therefore we know that that macro is the active one. So now just to make this a bit easier, let me just copy this and then just change the data here. So all you want to do is change it to the number of the macro. So 112, 113, 114, and 115. So I don't recommend writing out each and every macro. I do rather recommend just copy and pasting the macros and then just editing the Q data that you need to edit. So like, or not the Q data, the lines. So this one, so you've just got to change the preset number here. 4.79, 4.80, and 4.81. And then now you can see when I click on this, it shows me which one is active. So then if I label them correctly, it would be, or let's just label them quickly, delay 0, out, in, out, left, right, right, left. And that is literally all it takes to do this. So if I come into this view over here, you can see as I select them, first it'll go green, and then as I move it, it'll do the whichever one is selected. So that is it for the color macros. The important thing to remember, and this will actually should apply to all of them. I just want to confirm. Alt A. Yes, it does. So the important thing you need to do is you need to have this ignore exec time set on, or else since we'll be listening to the exec time, it'll see a fade of 0, and then it won't actually do the delay. If you don't use exec time, you don't need to worry about that, but I would just switch it on to be rather safe than sorry. Now let's go on to the position 1. So for the position 1, I made a couple. I did say earlier I made a couple positions here. Let's just make this white again. And it's basically the same thing. So we're going to select our group 5. We're going to then go to position, and we're going to do the same time. So first delay is going to be 0. Take note, you only have to apply to one of them, and then it applies to both. So let's make it 0, delay 0. Then we can say 0.5 through 0 through 0.5. So we'll do the same times as last time. Delay 0.5 out in. Then 0. Oh wait, no, I fucked that up. 0.5 through 0 through 0.5. Stall there. Alt A delay 0.5 in out. Then 0 through 0.5, delay 0.5 left, right, then 0.5 through 0. Stall there, delay 0.5 right, left. I just need to change the 1, 0, 0 through 0.5 through 0. That one. Merge. Cool. And then now the macro writing is basically the same. So I'm actually going to just copy and paste this macro. Then I'm going to get rid. Actually, I'll come back to that line, but I'm going to then the filter is the same. The preset data has to change obviously. So firstly, this preset is preset 2. So the first one will be preset 2.82. So it's going to just be preset 2.82, and then these things are going to change. I'm actually going to take those lines out for now. The same rule applies. Then let's just copy and paste this. Okay, alright, so we can leave them colored. Oh, gosh darn it. Let's just copy and paste this one, get rid of that, get rid of that. Preset 2.82. Alright, so then we can just copy and paste this. Let's label this 0, out, in, out, left, right, right, left. Okay, so now when it's 0, you can see these will just snap into position, whatever position that is. If it's out in, why does this never work for me? Oh yeah, because I'm drawing the wrong fucking thing. You obviously need to just change the executor number. See, kids, rushing doesn't get you anywhere. So this is 1.105. Rushing gets you nowhere, so don't be a Russian. That wasn't racially aimed at anyone. So let's just quickly change all of these to 105. See, getting that doesn't do you any good. Alright, so that's done now. So if we head to 0, snap into position. If we go to out in, maybe this will work. No, it doesn't. Why doesn't it work? Store executor 1.105 Q1 through /m. These are selective. This should be working technically at preset 2.82. Oh yeah, because I didn't change the preset data. The preset number. Seek. This, I'm sorry for being a bad influence today with my bad habits of just rushing through shit. Alright, so now if we change it, there you go. See, that's what it does. So if it's out in, the outer ones will move first. If it's in out, the inner ones will move first. If I move them back into that position, if it's left right, those will move first. And if it's right left, those ones will move first. And that is it for how that works. It is literally that simple. So I will put the show file down in the description. But just before we go, I want to show you how I run mine. Because mine is run very differently. Oh, hold on, I fucked up and I didn't do the position thing. Let me just go back there quickly. So tutorial, check all load show, don't save. If I just bring up this one, so you can see now as I select the different ones, if I bring this up, the lights will move the way in the pattern I've selected. So if I select out in, the outer ones will move first. in, out. The inner ones will move first, left, right. The moves from left to right, right, left, moves from right to left. Simple as pie. So I will put, as I said, I will put a download link to this in the description. But let's go back to my show file where I just was, so I can show you how that one works, because that one's a bit, it's a bit more interesting, the way I've tackled it. So let me just move screen 3 here. Here I want presets, and let's just do color, because that one, let's just do color, yeah, so color. So if I come to now macros, alright, so color delay. So the way my position delay one works is it applies, well, this is the way all of them work. So instead of actually taking applying the fixture or the group straight to the preset and then applying that preset and then saving in there, the way I've got it done is when I first select like the delay time, it just creates a variable. So for the position ones, it will say set var $beam pause delay equals preset 2.16. Then in the playback area, it will automatically run another macro that actually stores all of my position executors, so that the one macro isn't doing it. But the place that comes in better is the color delay. So if I come into the color, you can see I've got quite a few blank ones over here. But then down here in the corner, there's a set of 4. And the reason for that is I have 4 possible combinations. Out, in, out, left, right, right, left, and then 4 possible times. 0.25 seconds, 0.5, and 1. So the way this works is when I go into these macros, they do what I call the they declare the variables. So all they will do, well, they don't declare variables, so the variables are already declared, but they copy presets at certain presets. So like if we take, for example, the out in ones, it'll copy preset 4.32 through 4.35 at preset 4.92. So what that means is it's taking this section over here, which is my out in delays, and merging it over here. Then this macro is called the storer macro. This runs, and this applies my groups to those variables by saying group 20 at variable. So the variables are predefined as those macros. So the variables are actually set var $sign. Well, let me just type it out here quickly. So it would be set var $pos delay equals preset 4.92, and that's what the variable defined would look like. So now when it's saying group 20 at variable pos delay, all it's seeing is group 20 at preset 4.92. So once it does that, it is then able to run run the time, because it's a bit more complicated than that, but basically these 4 macros up here are defining which 4 macros it can be, and then this one here is defining which macro it is actually. So when I run these time macros, all they're doing is saying set var $beam color delay equals preset 4.94. So it means that is the preset. So when this storer macro runs, it'll say at preset 4.92. And then whenever I click on either of these, they will also run the storer macro, so that no matter if I can click on this and it'll automatically update, then I can click on that and it'll automatically update. And the place where this really shines is in a layout view, like I have here, where I can click and make my selections, and then it will automatically it'll change the color so I know which ones are active. And then if I'm in the middle and I'm like, okay, I'm happy with my time, I just change that. It then does everything in the background. So this is a bit more of a complex idea. I will put these macros as well down. I won't put them in a show file, but I'll just export the macros and put them down below, so you can go and pull them and take a look and try and figure out how it works, and then create it on your own. But that one's a bit more complicated, so I don't recommend really doing it. But yeah, beyond that, I will make sure to put a link to the Lua plugin that Jason Gaffer made that does this for you, so that you can try using that if you don't want to make it yourself. I'll put a link to Jason Zaring's videos because he does deserve credit for this, and then also to obviously the Dropbox folder that'll have the show file, firstly, the tutorial show file, and the and the my preset macros, my show file preset macros. Obviously, on my show file, I don't give out my show file, but the macros will be there. So yeah, if you have any other questions, my email is always in the description, so you can pop me an email there. Leave a comment, and I'll try to answer them as quickly as possible. And otherwise, yeah, if you're not subscribed already, make sure to subscribe for some more tutorials and that kind of stuff. And yeah, well, thanks for watching. Cheers.